Uh, Welcome to another session with the Three Tree team. My name is Eric Skeens, and we are Three Tree Tech, and I'm here with Kodie Kennedy, who founded and designed and developed what many suppliers in the tech space and many CISOs, uh, everything from Fortune 500 CISOs down to mid-market CISOs, know and love, which is Connect.io. Uh, Welcome, Kodie. I'd love to
Thank
kind
you.
of get a, I'd love as we're walking through this, I'm going to be picking your brain and I'm going to be getting folks to understand who Kodie is, who Connect.io is, and how it's come together for your organization and our organization to come and become as one and be a part of this huge mission that we have of changing the way that customers buy
Mhm.
technology and the way that suppliers get their organization out to these customers. And we'll walk through a little bit of that and understand kind of what this mission of empowering leaders truly means. But before we do, I want to kind of get an understanding who you are. So give me a little bit understanding of kind of who is Kodie Kennedy.
First, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you. And second, Kodie Kennedy, founder of Connect.io. I, uh, I guess to sum it up, graduated from Texas State University, and in 2023, I was raised by two Marines. Majority of my life, I was on the East Coast. Went to 9 different schools, and found my way to Texas, and somehow landed in cyber. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I know you're a Texas boy through and through. I think you've got a badge to go along with it. So,
yeah, it's a badge I
um,
can't remove either.
yeah, I appreciate it. And before we jump into all the tech component in our companies and things of that nature, I really fascinating because being raised by two Marines, I imagine that was a very regimented childhood, so to speak. Tell me a little bit about like what was it like being raised by two Marines?
If I had to say a sentence for each parent, well, one, both of them, let's just say I was disciplined, very, uh, yeah, you could fill in the blank, but um, between discipline and then, God forbid if I got a C on my report card, and then from the number one thing would be manners is what was instilled, and now, and I kind of take that and uh, it was instilled in me so much that I thought it was also instilled in everyone else, and so now, come to find out, people, we're all raised a little different.
We all are raised a little bit different. I know I was raised my father my I didn't have two parents in the military, but my father was Navy and definitely had some discipline in that mix. And my dad always gave me choices. He always gave me two choices, hand or the belt. And I never know which one was the worst. Every single
Yeah,
time I chose.
that reminds me, to relate to that, my dad, anytime if I was little, get in trouble or something, about to tear up, he'd be like, if I see a tear fall down your face, I'm gonna give you a reason to cry. And so let's just say I did not cry.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
I
Uh,
tried not to.
yeah, yeah. And I would imagine that in being raised by two Marines, there's a significant amount of um, one hard-headedness, but also uh, somewhat of a desire for perfection.
Mm.
And so yeah, I know now where all of your um, character of continuous improvement and that hard work ethic that you have instilled in everything you put your hands on uh, and pour your life into. So I
Shout out mom
appreciate
and dad. Appreciate it.
that. Yeah. So let's kind of walk through so your background. kind of led you into effectively this passion project, which is known now as Connect.io. Like how did you get there? Because I know we met you when you were over at Axis Security. You were doing business development.
SDR.
You were an SDR. You were cold calling. You were warm calling. You were doing everything to make sure that Axis Security, which was a disruptor in and of themselves before they got bought by HP or Aruba, um, and you had this. We knew you as somebody that was a true evangelist when it came to the technology that you brought forward, and reaching out to customers and getting folks to know who Access Security was. Um, like how did Connect.io come out of all of that?
So this is I'm gonna try to shorten up this story as much as I can, but I'll start from the beginning. So uh it was when I was in college. I was in the middle of my second audit internship. I was on track to get my CPA, and so
Accountant, huh?
yeah, yeah.
All right.
Unfortunately, something with numbers and I don't know, something just formulas, numbers, it all clicks in my head. But from in the middle of accounting internship in the middle of summer, out of nowhere, randomly, I was reached out by a recruiter who reached out on behalf of Axis, and I entertained it, and keep in mind, I had no idea what cybersecurity was. I had not a clue of what a SDR was, nothing. And so I went to the interview. I actually met Joe Mattioli, Chris Hines, and Chris Zamora in person for the first time. Little did I know that they would become my future boss. But from there, so from accounting to cybersecurity, let's say I started July 22, June or July 22. And then fast forward to around November, I had a good amount of experience in the industry between lead follow up, demand gen, fill in the blank for everything else that SDRs do. And
Yep.
I always had it in the back of my head. It was kind of like that little guy on your shoulder that never goes away. That I
Sure.
just felt something was off about what I was doing, and I'm not saying it was, but that's just personal opinion. I did not personally.
And to be clear, you felt off um,
The
about
methods.
the
Yeah,
methods that, yeah,
yeah.
the
The
methods of
the
how you were reaching out to these
mm,
individuals.
and
Um,
how I was acquiring their information. How like if they would go to a website, they'd click something and then we'd get a ping, hey, this um, fill in the blank, hot lead, whatever. And little did they
mhm,
know that their data was being harvested, tracked, and resold to vendors for lead gen. And so that meant that I had to call them and act like I had no idea what they were doing. And so it's kind of like spyware in a way if you think about it. But
sure.
anyways, so as I said, so fast forward to it came down to November 8th, 2022 at 8:16 p.m. Actually, I was prospecting. And I know I used to actually stay up till like 3 a.m. calling into India to get Schlumberger, a meeting with Schlumberger or now SLB. But
Yeah.
um so the post I ran across on LinkedIn, it was by a CISO, and he was like, "Look, I love technology, but there's over 4,000 vendors out there. I love it. That's why I made a career. But at the end of the day, I don't have all the time in the world to sit and give every single vendor a demo. I don't need another Yeti. I don't need another gift card." And after a long spiel, the last sentence he said was, "There has to be a better form of communication between buyers and sellers." And so that's when Connect clicked in my head. And I originally I related it to, and I kind of copied the model of Bumble, of how women can only reach out to men, and to bridge that gap, to open that communication gap, I wanted to allow buyers to only reach out to sellers, and then once they did that, that's when that bridge opened up. And yeah, that's pretty much what
Huh.
started and became what it is today.
Oh, that's awesome. So to get it to get let me make sure I understand. So you wanted to play with numbers. You got dragged into, and by far by some of the most influential individuals within the industry, Chris Hines, Chris Zamora, and Joe Maglione. Yeah, did I say that
Matti
right?
Joe Mattioli.
Mattioli. There you go. Sorry, I always botch his last
Oh, it
name.
took me like 8 months to pronounce his last name.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. No, I love Joe though. And so you've got three of the most influential individuals in the tech industry today. They're all part of very, very fast moving um, and disruptive technologies in the cybersecurity industry. So I can see why you had this pull from accounting to cybersecurity. So then you went into cybersecurity. You had an aha moment on November 8th at 8:16 p.m. and and then this passion that came out of there had to be a better way, and deciding to disrupt the cybersecurity market specifically. But I know that there's a lot of plans to go beyond just cybersecurity and into other technologies as well.
mhm.
And so now you're kind of moving along. You've been doing Connect.io for about 3 or 4 years, and you've had a good chunk of success. You have some Fortune 500 CISOs that are involved. You have some very well-known names in the cybersecurity industry, leveraging the technology and leveraging the product and the platform to get their innovation. One, using it as a sounding board in some instances and
Mhm.
sounding off of other CISOs, and being able to do it in this platform that's very much the Bumble of technology. Um, and now we're here, and now you're here with Three Tree Tech. Like, why with the success that you've had and the continual trajectory of the growth and of the platform, why Three Tree Tech? And again, we're excited about everything that you've been doing because it's a very good marriage between our orgs. But I
Mhm.
want to hear it from you. Why Three Tree Tech?
So the I'm a big analogy guy, and the first thing that pops in my head is football and head coaches. So would I mean, don't get me wrong, you could have success being a head coach of like a Tech State, for example, being in the Sun Belt or I guess now Pac-12. But would I rather be head coach in the Sun Belt or would I rather be OC in the SEC under Saban? And so, with that being said, just I've I've come to the I'm happy with where we're at, and I just know to get to where we're going, it's going to take more than just myself, and that's where I think that Three Tree and Connect, they're like you said it earlier, just better together than separate, kind of like a marriage, just because we're both attacking the same problem from two different angles, and so if
Hmm.
we could team up together and attack it with X amount more power and force and excitement, then it's uh, a no brainer decision.
Yeah, no, I'm completely in agreement. I mean, we're extremely excited. I know that from a relationship perspective, you've known us for a while, but I know there was a catalyst in our CEO, Carrig Stanwyck, and the relationship you've built with him, him being somewhat of a mentor as well
Mhm.
within your journey at Connect and being able to provide some of the guidance and in the platform and how you go about things. So we're really excited because one, you were coming at the problem with technology. We were coming at the problem with people and kind of bringing this, how do we truly empower leaders, period. And in that, this is where I think where we go further and faster in changing this industry and just making a better channel for the technology side of the house. And so, really excited about you on. And before we wrap and we finish up, um, tell me some, tell us something that we wouldn't know about you.
So, hmm, I would say, and I don't like to, I don't say this, and I don't really talk about it that much, just because I don't care about how much I work. But there was a period in time after Axis got acquired by HP that during the day, well, so being a founder, you obviously you put your heart and soul into a company, and so it gets to a point to where you're like, I need to, handle, like, take care of myself as well. And
Hmm.
so my decision was to uh, work HP full time during the day, and then be a project coordinator for construction at night, and remodel HEBs for 8 months. And I was
Wow.
able to do that, and then quit the construction company and stay at HPE. And then that's when a little bit after I left, but it was yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very
It's a very driven, I'll say that. And then we're thankful to have you on board. And last little tidbit, what's HEB for the folks that are not familiar with Texas?
the best grocery store you've never been in.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, if you've ever been to Texas and never been in HEB, it's a different experience. And that's coming from up here in the Portland market. So Uh, really appreciate everything. Really excited about the bringing Connect.io into the Three Tree Tech tribe and family, and really excited to have you on board. I know that there's going to be a lot of great things that we do together, and I know that the industry is ready and ripe for change, and we're gonna make some waves. Really
Let's do
appreciate it,
it.
Kodie.
I'm
Let's
very
get after
excited.
it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.